Hey, hi, Lisa Marie here, and yes, I had something happen today that just totally, I didn't even realize it's what I did and that's what I do, and that it was different than what other people do. I didn't even realize it. So, light bulb went off when someone who here in my office who had weight loss surgery about the same time I did. Actually, there's two of them, but this one happened to hit me up today. She said, "Hey, Tammy." She said she came up beside me as I was grabbing my snack out of my lunch bag, and she said, "Lisa Marie, what the heck? How are you staying on plan? I don't get it." And I was like, well, I plan my day and I just kind of stick to it. And she's like, "What do you mean?" So I took out my phone and I actually showed her this first. You know, in my journal that I've been doing, I write out right here what my foods are. And I just showed her on this one because I had opened up my lunchbox and I was starting to write them all down. I didn't finish because we started yakking. Sorry. Anyway, I showed her there's two things that you can do. Write it down or log it. Hey, Carla. Logging it in something. Hey, Elizabeth. Logging it in something like Berrytastic, MyFitnessPal, Calorie King, or whatever service you want to use if you want it that easy. Or just a piece of paper and a pen and you can write it down. So I showed her, I actually use something I learned from Dave Ramsey for getting out of debt. And that was spend all of your money for the month on paper first. Before you ever spend a dime, write a check, do anything. Write it all out and spend it all on paper. You'll see where you are. You'll see if you have any extra. You'll see where you need extra. It's just a black and white visual to see what it is that you are doing and or need to be doing with your budget. And I do the same thing with my food. And I didn't know I was the only one that did this. Well, I'm sure I'm not the only one that does it, but I didn't know I was the one that how I do it is different. So what I do, I literally get out my paper. Hey, Karen. And I fill out everything. I fill out my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, my 2 snacks. I add it all up. If I need to make an adjustment, then is kind of when I tweak it then. Some days I can't have extra cheese on stuff because it's already got cheese in it. Some days I use an oil and vinegar dressing instead of my Lighthouse dressing. Sometimes I just use lemon and Splenda. And that's it. I just kind of mix up the juice and put it on there. And sometimes I squeeze a little mustard in there and make like my own honey mustard thing. There's just so many different things that we can do. Hey, so here's my idea for you. If this is foreign, woohoo! If you already do it, then let me do that too. Do you stay within a certain amount of calories, carbs, and protein? Yes, I do. I try to stay under 50 grams of carbs. However, I do a lot of vegetables, like a lot of vegetables, and I don't really count those carbs. So my normal carbs, I'm probably about 20-ish average a day. Sometimes it's 40, 50, sometimes it's 10, because I really focus on vegetables and I figure those are healthy carbs. I don't really count them. My protein, yes, I target for 70 to 90. My upper goal is 115. My minimum is 60. But I target really for the 70 to 90, 100. That's like my target. My calories, therein lies the little kind of tricky part, because depending on the type of protein I'm getting and what I mix with it, sometimes my calories are only 800 or 900 in a day. and sometimes they're 1,300. I try to stick about 1,200, 1,000 to 1,200 or less, but it averages out, and I just really try to listen to my body, because there's some days when I'm hungry like every 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and there's some days where I only eat 3 times. Go figure. I figure my body has it knows what's coming. I just try to listen. And you've been staying around 60 to 80, and that's pretty good, unless, oh, I can't look because it's in my phone. Unless, depending on your height, I'll post it. I'll post it down below in the comments. I have a little graph that tells how much protein for maintenance you should target, depending on your height and if you're male or a female. So that could be different. And if you're losing weight, you actually want to target for more. And then your maintenance is kind of a minimal type of thing. So yes, I'll do that. Okay, so here's what I do. I truly plan out my meal. Everything I'm going to eat for the day. And guess what I do? I pack it. I pack my whole day. And what I think I'm going to have for dinner, or what I'm planning on having for dinner, I actually put in the refrigerator, and I put it in my drawer, so my portion is already there. Unless it's something where we're eating out or we're going to cook that night, then I just know that's what I'm having, and I get out my little container or my plate or my bowl and I put it there, so I know that that's what I'm having. But I pack it all in my lunch bag. There's a couple of reasons why I do this mentally. I don't have to think. I don't have to go, oh, now what can I fix? Oh, I don't know where I am in calories. Oh, I don't know. What did I have for breakfast? Where does this fit? I don't know. When did I last eat? It doesn't matter. If I have all of my food, except for my evening snack and my dinner, I leave those at home. But everything else I pack with me. That way, if I'm hungry every 2 hours, I eat every 2 hours. If I only eat once or twice, sometimes those are the meals where I have more than one thing. It's just like the budget. Really, it's just like our money. If you spend it all on paper first, then you don't have to think about it. And it's all right there, and there you are. That's what you can do. So do you and your husband eat the same supper? Yes, we do. His is just bigger. He doesn't care for breads and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool that we don't have to worry about that. And he just has a bigger portion. Really, we eat the same protein, we eat the same vegetables. He just eats 2 handfuls of vegetables, whereas I eat 1. And he eats probably a hand of protein, whereas I don't even eat this much. I eat about this much. Maybe 3 fingers now. I've grown a little. It's normally about 2. I have about a half a hand, and then I have my whole hand of vegetables. If I have a carb, I have about this much. I really just focus on the 3-2-1. I have 3 bites of protein, I have 2 bites of vegetables, and I have 1 bite of carb. 3-2-1. Sometimes, depending on the vegetable, I will have a bite. I'll take the piece of protein and stab it into the vegetable, so I'm getting them both at the same time. But then the next bite will just be protein by itself. So I kind of even it out. It's just kind of what works for me. So I thought I would share that with you, because she was like, oh my gosh, I think that will help me. And I'm like, yeah, if you don't have to worry about, and you have everything packed, you have everything with you, then it doesn't matter if you nibble or not. That's what you have for the day. And so of course she said, well, what happens if you eat it all? And now it's the end of the day and you don't have any, and you're hungry and you don't have anything. And I'm like, did you drink enough liquids? Are you drinking enough liquids in between all of that? Because if you are, then you won't be as hungry. And the other trick is, did you know our baby pouch is just like a human baby, and it can be trained? What? Yes. You can train it. If you want to eat 5, 6, 7 times a day, by all means, you can set the timer, and every 2.5 hours, have something to eat, whether you're hungry or not. And pretty soon, your body will be, every 2.5 hours, it'll be like, hey, I'm hungry. It'll only be a handful-ish. It won't be a whole lot. So if you want to stretch that out, you don't have as much time in your day to eat 7 times, then you might want to train your body to having your breakfast, your lunch, maybe an afternoon snack, and your dinner. Or no snack. It's okay. And if anything, it's going to bring you back into a safer calorie zone. And the other thing about spending it all on paper, packing it, and having it there, if you work at home or you're like me on the weekends is when I fail at this. And this last weekend, I did this, and it was way more successful. If you stay at home and you think, I'm going to be able to cook, I'm going to be able to get what I want, whenever I want, guess what? You end up grazing. It happens because you don't have a plan. And when you graze, what is it? You eat way more than your body needs because you're eating past hunger and past fullness, or before hunger and past fullness. It just messes with everything. It messes with how your body is designed. So yeah, the whole 5, 6, 7 times a day is definitely necessary at first, for probably the first 6 to 9 months, because you need that nutrition. But as the inside of your stomach starts lessening the swelling when it heals, then you can kind of get a little bit more in your pouch, so you can have less meals because you can have a little more at the different meals. I have some days where I don't eat much, and other days like today where I want to eat everything. I get it. So you're not sure why. Our hormones are still wonky. Our hormones are still crazy because they were all stored in the fat cells. Some of them got released, some of them did not. And some days, hello, God just knows you and your body. He knows what's coming. Maybe not in the next hour, but 3 hours from now, 4 hours from now. I've had days like that, and I've gone, why am I hungry again? And I look, and it's been a good 2 hours, and I've been drinking water in between, so I go ahead and eat. And every time I have done that, later in the afternoon or the evening, something has happened. Somebody's called, somebody's come over, there's been an emergency, there's been something totally out of plan, and I haven't been able to eat, or wasn't hungry to eat because my attentions were focused on something else. I didn't know that was coming. He did, and he totally made my tummy fit in with what was coming. And I just listened and did it. And could you do a video of what you typically eat? I always struggle on what to eat. Oh yeah, I know I haven't done my meal preps for a while. I was actually thinking of it today. I could tell you, yesterday we made a big crock pot of like egg casserole that we put a whole dozen eggs, a cup of, they didn't have almond milk, they had something. It wasn't normally what I get, but that's what they had, and that's what I tried. And then about a cup's worth of cheese, and then a cup and a half of diced up red bell pepper, 2 handfuls of spinach. So I had the egg and the milk. Oh, and then I bought a pre-packaged bag of bacon bits that's the real bacon, like the Hormel and the Walmart brand. And I just dumped the whole bag in there, mixed that all up, put it in the slow cooker for 6 hours on low, and I just then scoop it into my container, I weigh it out, and I make those portions. You could do the same thing in a muffin tin. It's the same thing as the muffin tin, I just made a big crock pot of it because that was easier to clean, honestly, than the muffin tins. And then the other thing I did is I made a whole crock pot of chicken that I put a whole jar of sugar-free Did I do the apricot or peach? I think I did peach. Preserves, and I just let it cook on low also for 6 hours, and then my husband shredded it all up for me, and I put that in my salad, which, you know those salad kits that you can get at the store that have the dressing and the nuts and the whatever? Hello, it's a lot cheaper to buy that, all those things, chop them up yourself, and then portion it out and add your own protein and your own stuff. So that's what I do. And then we have our smoothie, my green smoothie, so it's basically those same vegetables. Spinach, kale, cucumber, cabbage, ginger, water, protein powder. I think that's it. That goes into the morning smoothie. And then for a snack, I have nuts and sometimes jerky, but today I brought a plum. So I have a plum and some cashews. And then if I get hungry for my other snack, I brought cottage cheese with blueberries. And then I usually add cashews to that too. I think that's all I have in my bag right now. So it's just, I'll have to do another meal prep. Maybe I'll do that in the morning and show you what I do tomorrow so that you can see it. But I thought I would just give you that helpful hint. If you're struggling and you're staying at home and you're maybe you're not sure why you're staying where you are and it's not where you want to be and you want to lose some more, I say plan it all out. Plan it all out on paper first. Then you can see where you might need to tweak it. Do you have enough protein? Do you have enough vegetables? Add more, take it away. Do you have enough fats? Maybe you need to put that in. Just spend it all on paper first. And then you'll know where you are. Pack it all up, measure it all, pack it all up. And I measured out my whole week. I measured out 5 containers. 6 containers when I do or 7 containers when I do my meat for my salads. I just measure it all out. It's just easier to put all my portions, and then I put those in my drawer, and then what's left in our Rubbermaid Tupperware type things that I put in the fridge, then my husband can have however much of that he wants. How much fats do you aim for? I don't really keep track. I really don't keep track. I could tell you, let me look back. Yeah. I don't totally keep track. I think it's like 25% of my day, which ends up being not very much. And I can't look at my phone. That's where it is in my Fitness Pal. I really don't keep track. And it's really weird because some days I want fat. I want added cheese, or I want added nut. Maybe it's because I have nuts that I'm not so craving it. There's some days that I want, the real mayonnaise, which I know Miracle Whip people don't think is mayonnaise, but it is to me. What else do I do real? If I'm going to have cream cheese. If I have cream cheese, I use the real whole cream cheese. But I only do a portion. I only do an ounce and a half. Mix it with salsa and have my little pretzel things. But see, like, I had that several days last week. No desire for it no desire for it whatsoever this week. And so I just try to really listen to my body and try to pay attention. What am I hungry for? What do I want? And it averages out. It really averages out. Do you still do protein shakes? No, not really. We add the protein to my smoothie, so it's kind of like a shake because it's liquid. And then if I've planned out my meal or my day and I see I don't have enough protein per se because I have more vegetables going, I will add a scoop of protein to my tea, and I make like a protein tea. But other than that, I have them handy. I've actually thrown a bunch of them out because they expired. I had them handy for a long time to be able to grab and go, and I had them here in my office for a long time. And then different people that needed some kind of protein asked if they could have it, and I gave it to them because I had real food. So I don't really do them. Now that it's getting hotter, I'm thinking, maybe I'll add that, but I don't really need to because I have enough protein in real food. I don't really need to. I can just make nice, creamy, smoothie, wonderful beverages out of my teas, and I make them hot in a little bit of water, and then I add it to my cup, and I add cold water, and I add ice, and I just make a flavored iced tea. So it's a little weak, but it's what works for me. It's like my water with extra oomph and no sugar. So hopefully that helped you. She was so excited that she was already planning out her tomorrow and writing it down, and I'm so excited for her. So we're going to check in tomorrow. That's the other thing. Have an accountability partner. Have someone that you can, say, hey, what'd you plan for tomorrow? Or what'd you plan for this week? But you got to start somewhere. You just have to start somewhere. And there you have it. That's my lunchtime tidbit of information, and hopefully you can do it, and hopefully you can have success at it, because I believe you can. I do. God wouldn't bring us this far through this much to not give us tools that we can use that are healthy and useful for long term. That's how I think anyway. So have a great rest of your day. Happy holiday week. I can't believe it's going to be a short week. And I will talk to you later.